Well, welcome back, everyone, to Simply Another Band of Curiously Odd Travelers, episode 45. And for the players and those out listening, let there be fucking dragons. Last time, our party had discussed with various allies in the barracks of the Hooded Lanterns what their next steps might be. And after much deliberation, you all decided that an expedition to explore the Castle Draken had finally arrived. An opportunity to potentially find the crown of Drakenheim, a powerful magical item within, supposedly, the Castle Draken was the last time it was seen. The Hooded Lanterns have tried many times over the last 15 years to make excursions into the castle with little or no success, often losing valuable resources and lives at the same time. But a suggestion was made to potentially fly over the most dangerous portions of the castle grounds. And as you come towards the height of the Castle Draken, one of the highest elevations in the city of Drakenheim, you encountered a number of the castles and the city's many defensive constructs, several of which you managed to subdue using the seals of the city that you had, the inscrutable staff, as well as the Chancellor's crest, to temporarily subdue these creatures as you approached from the skies towards the tall towers looming over the Castle Draken. Below, you could see monstrous shapes of all kinds, a massive creature you couldn't quite identify, but as you grow closer now to the main body of the Castle Draken, you encounter a horrifying sight, a massive bronze dragon construct that you recognize, Georgio, just briefly from vague memories of the past, as the primary protector of the castle itself, known as Minazorand, the bronze dragon construct. But this construct itself seems to be tainted by the haze and the contaminating effects of the delirium surrounding the city now. As it looms over the main tower of the Castle Draken, as you approach, you can hear, just as you get to the edge of the castle, you hear this booming voice echo in all your minds. "Who goes there? State your business." What do you all do?
I was just leaving.
What a coincidence. Me too.
This is presumably from the dragon. Do we know that for sure?
You feel fairly certain as it stares you all directly in the eyes from some 200 feet away now, atop the tallest spire of the Castle Draken.
To answer, I think it would be. I think Georgio would step forward and introduce himself as the heir to the throne, with as much certainty as he could muster.
I like it.
Yeah.
Is that what you say to the mighty guardian of the castle?
Well, not in those exact words, but yeah.
What do you say to the guardian dragon, Minazorand?
If the dragon's alive, it was maybe something like, I don't know if you would remember when I was here, however many years ago, but I am the next rightful heir to the throne, and we are here to obtain the crown. again, with as much, which might not be a lot, bravery as he could, as much confidence as I could summon.
What proof do you bear? What proof shows you are heir to this throne?
This is not a good idea. But I think that the only proof I have would be my blood. So I will say exactly that. The proof is in my blood.
Oh no.
So we'll see what he says. That's all that I got.
Give me a persuasion check. Know that the DC is a 25.
Okay. My persuasion is only a +2.
Okay. Well, you can
So the
still
best it
potentially
could be-
roll a nat
The best
20.
it could be with the nat 20, which it's not. I rolled a 13,
Okay.
so I've got a 15 on the dice.
Better men have stated greater things when boasting on their approach. And they succumb to my jaws, to my talons. You bear no such proof of royalty. Leave or perish.
I do have this little silverware kit that at least shows that I did live here.
Ooh.
So you are a thief and a liar.
Oh, Jesus.
You watch as the wings spread wide from the body of the dragon as it prepares to leap from its spired perch. You have one more opportunity before we enter initiative. What would you all like to do?
Any ideas?
Fucking yikes, dude. Shit. Alright, so that's clearly not working.
The phylactery of the Von Kessel family that we had, was that one of the things that was taken from us? Or do we still have
Yes,
this? I know that
all
we
the
have-
phylacteries were taken by the Queen of Thieves.
Okay, I wasn't 100% sure. Okay.
The only thing that you bear of any significance at the moment are your 2 seals of the city. Well, and then the sword of Saint Vitruvio.
Yeah. Wait, use Zone of Truth.
Oh,
Use Zone
yeah.
of Truth. I can't lie. If you do it, pull it out. Tell him.
That's true.
Quick, before he kills me.
But us?
Only think of yourself, how Kingsley of you.
Bud.
Say, Spud, are you there?
Sorry, yeah, my cat was just being a nightmare. Sorry.
It's okay. Did you hear what Giorgio had said?
Yeah, I was gonna say, repeat that last little.
Could you please quickly take out your sword and initiate the Zone of Truth so that I can tell this dragon that I'm not lying? Please hurry.
Of course. my hilt is already quivering, should I say? For lack of a better word, I pull Ignatius as it's clearly like bleeding to bring out the truth in this situation, and stamp it straight into the ground in the middle of this and create this zone of truth. Do I have to roll for that, by the way? Just quickly.
No, the zone of truth just happens.
I didn't think so, yeah.
Your companions, though, they can choose to fail the zone of truth, or they can choose to fight its influence. That's up to each of you.
I'm okay with failing it. I
Okay.
have no intention of lying right now.
I'm gonna fight it.
Okay, go ahead and roll a. I believe it's a charisma save. Yes, it's charisma.
Under normal circumstances.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There it is.
You do not succeed.
I'm failing. Auto-fail, I'm dying.
Okay.
I will say under normal circumstances, there is never really a reason to auto fail.
Right.
Um,
And Chugrulk, you fail automatically as the wielder of Ignatius. Yeah. Okay. You don't get a choice. Ignatius would bitch slap you mentally if you tried.
I got the vibe. Though.
Yeah. You feel the coercive effects of the Zone of Truth spread out from the blade as this aura surrounds your party. As it does so, what do you say in the presence of the Zone of Truth and the Sword of Sacred Flames?
How big is the Zone of Truth again?
It only expands out, I believe, 30 feet radius. So, yeah, like 60 foot in diameter. It's nowhere near. You're almost 200 feet from the edge of Midozoran.
Midozoran, can you hear the truth that is Ignatius's words?
You bear a holy relic. This is exceptional. But nevertheless, I am bound as the protector of this place. You bear but a trifle of its great authority. Be you of royal descent? Yes. Be you the next ruler of Drakenheim? That is yet to be confirmed. Give me one more persuasion check. Again, this is a 25 DC.
Okay.
While all this is happening,
Sure. What would you... you guys can do stuff as well. You don't have to... This isn't just a Giorgio exclusive thing.
I know this is all happening. I'm just going to go ahead and just look at Giorgio and just, shoot guidance on over to him.
Okay. I mean, you guys can say something or act as well. You do have... Let me remind you, you do have the influence of the two seals that you do have. They are not guarantees, but they do have effects.
I'm not gonna lie, I forget exactly what the seals did in this case. I thought that
they give you some amount of authority over constructs. I will let you know that this is a major construct of the city, and the fact that you only have it is a protector and it is a defensive measure of the city. It is considered a construct, yes, for the purposes of mechanics, and it is a protector of the city. It is and can be affected by the seals, but it is a major protector of the city, a primary protector, and you only have 2 of the 6 seals. So that will have an effect on whether or not you can persuade or coerce the compliance. But they would potentially have an effect, depending on how you use them.
Who actually has the seals? I don't think I have one, right?
Hold on.
Oh, Mr. Man.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. Okay. Thank you for saying that, Stopper. I'm rereading my staff. Okay. Hold on.
I'm listening.
Hold on a second. Okay. Let me see. All right. So I'm gonna. So the dragon's yelling at Giorgio, right? All this stuff like that.
Yeah, the gist of his statement was, you may be of the bloodline of kings, but you are not the current ruler of this city.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I like this.
Okay.
I like this also. I'm reading it too.
All right, I'm listening. What's happening?
Okay. All right, so I'm going to walk forward. Let's see. Okay. Let's all calm down. Let's have a nice, clean conversation without any attacking nice, clean conversation. My compatriot here is of the royal bloodline. I have one of the seals of Drakenheim, and if I recall correctly, you cannot attack someone with one of the seals. Is that not true?
Calling upon his crown authority.
You bear but one seal of the city, little man. I am its guardian. I answer to the king only, and the council at large. What influence do you bear?
What influence? I have the authority of the crown, my good friend. And again, it seems that you neglected to answer my question. You are saying, oh, I will only answer to someone of what you're saying. However, I said to you, you cannot attack me. Is that correct?
So, explain to me what you're attempting to do here. Just explain to me in, layman's terms what you're trying to accomplish here.
I'm basically trying to make him not attack us so we can actually have a clear conversation that we're trying to make sure that, have Giorgio pretty much be...
So I'm going to step forward because I can't do this. If you fail anyway, I can't do mine anyway. So I'm going to step forward and assist.
So you're trying to enact the influence of the seal on the dragon.
The seal of Drakenheim, yes.
That's
what I was going to
correct.
Say. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're going for.
Okay. If that is what you are trying to do, the influence of the seal must be in closer proximity to than what you are right now.
So, is he not 30 feet? Where are we?
You're 200 feet away.
Across the
200 feet. Oh,
Yes.
fuck. Okay.
Close to the man.
So
Right.
just keep that in mind.
This guy's fucking yelling at us then.
In our
right,
minds.
Yeah, you hear this in your mind.
Okay.
I mean, it's just in normal terms, it sounds just like screeching and cries and roars, basically, from this dragon.
Well, I guess. Then we'll redirect this whole conversation. I guess. Shiny, if you're okay with this, then maybe this was us just explaining to our party that we have the crown authority. If we can get close enough, we can prevent him from attacking our party.
Potentially.
I think the vibe is the vibe. I think we just take the time to maybe explain the crown authority to the party. Is that a good vibe, Shiny?
Yeah, I'm with it.
And a good
And I think just letting you guys know, our biggest thing is if we can succeed trying to, I guess, yield, get him to yield, getting close enough. We've got a minute. This is my big takeaway, just to let y'all know.
Right.
We will have a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I read it as two separate things, but I see what you're coming from. I get you. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we can, if we win again, I think we're taking the time to explain it. If we win this check, or if we can overpower this guardian, we have a minute, and then, or if it takes any damage, so we don't want to damage this thing if we win, is I guess what I want to explain to the party, so that nobody,
we gotta get
and
the
then,
hell inside.
but if we lose, we can't try again, basically, today.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
So
with that.
I think just considering we already made the action, we may as well explain to you guys what we're looking at.
Currently, you all are hovering at the edge of the southern perimeter of the Castle Draken. You can see that the eyes of Minazoran are fixated on the four of you. Right now, he is approximately 200 feet away. Do you approach further, or what is your intent, and where are you going?
I would like to ask, what do you say his name was? Manazoran?
Minazoran.
Manazoran. I'm
Yes.
going to say Manazoran is a member of the cloth here. May I please approach? And I put away my my Comet Smasher to look as non-threatening as possible and just ask if we can approach and ask basically of his audience.
Give me a persuasion check. I'll tell you the DC is... That was the
Better
current
than 10?
persuasion? No. You will remain where you are. Approach at your own peril. Man of the cloth.
I'm going to try to reason with him real quick.
Okay.
And say, we are not able to prove the validity of our statements in any sort of way without us getting closer. I understand that you are the sworn protector of the castle and the crown. And I will, under courage, still come, as I believe that this is something that is important for not only the safety of the lineage of the crown, but the safety of the city as a whole.
Okay, you say this, and do you continue to approach?
Yes.
Okay. Show me how... You have, I think, a 60-foot fly speed currently? I think that's the current...
Maybe riding
potion.
these things. It should be.
Well, yeah. I think you took a potion
riding.
of flying, or
Yeah, we took potion of.
Okay, so you should have a 60-foot fly speed then, because it is the same as a fly spell. So just whatever that is. If you were to dash, you could potentially go further.
These are normal 5-foot squares.
Yes.
Is there any entrance into the interior of the castle from where that we can see from where we are?
Give me a perception check.
Nope. That's a 1.
It is extremely foggy, and you have bugs in your eyes.
This would be 60.
Okay.
That I would feel comfortable getting in line with.
Okay.
He's so far away.
As you approach across that threshold, you watch as Minazorand leaps off the spire. Let's see. And rushes. Not his full dash movement, but in an instant, nearly entirely bridges the gap towards you. Before, and like just halts himself in midair, these massive wings as you sit like a flea on the back of a giant, staring down at you. I warn you, mortal. Leave or perish.
I'm going to take a huge gulp. And I would probably look back at the group and just say, if we have anything that we want to say, we should probably say it now. I'm going to give a cheeky little wink.
Cedric, as you look down as well and look at the body of Minazorand, you can look in this courtyard area just over the parapeted wall into the interior courtyard of the Castle Draken. There are shadowy shapes and lumbering large creatures all over the grounds of the Castle Draken, as well as strange incorporeal spirits sort of moving, where you see speckles and chunks of corporeal material, but that vanishes in and out of shadows. It is just littered with strange entities all over the grounds below you, as well as massive chunks scattered about, completely enveloped in a dense fog of the haze. But even at this distance, you can see the concentrated glow, and you can feel that charged energy. And you as well, Tim, you sense that even further, the charged ozone-like scent of massive delirium clusters as big or bigger than you are. And even in the size and scale of your Goliath form, some of these clusters are even taller than you, of solid crystallized delirium fragments, or not fragments, but formations sticking out of walls and solid rock. Any organic material like lumber, you can see them just wrapping around using the wood like bracing as they've grown over the years. I will say that at this point, each of you can do one particular thing, and we will determine what happens after this based on your choices in this next round. So, whatever order, we're not in initiative yet, but what would you like to do?
Do we still have like our regular like movement and stuff? Like,
yeah, you can certainly move. So you could dash. You could move your. Right now, you have 60 foot of fly speed, 120 if you dash.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Can we dash in the air? So I'm gonna measure that out.
Right.
Let me just do that.
It would basically put you on top of
Yeah, no.
the dragon.
Wait. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you could.
I don't need to be that close. So maybe somewhere like here. That would still. I could still use my spell if I'm not. I could still use my enchantment around myself.
The zone of
Your
truth.
No, sorry. I'm talking about the Chancellor's Crest, more or less, like to
Yes, you just need to be in with a distance of
like
30 feet.
around where. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna move myself. So I'm gonna go flying to about here. If
Okay.
not, that should be within. Yep. And then I'm gonna I think I can decide what we're gonna do there, but that's where I'm gonna head.
Okay. Since you were the first to act, Chugrulk, we'll just go with you. What are you attempting to utilize the Chancellor's crest and try to
Yes. Yes. I am
impose
going
the
to
authority of the crown upon him?
Crown authority. Yes.
Okay. What do you say to Minazorand as you attempt to impose this authority of the Chancellor's crest?
I impose a good will for being here. I try to, I guess, impose my my truth, and like I'm gliding in with the zone of truth if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And just let him know as as truthfully as possible, the we're here to cause like this city no harm. We're here to just work this out and pull the thorn that is this uncomfortable period is what I would say.
Okay. I'm going to roll this on top of the table. Just so you know, he has a +9 to his wisdom save.
God.
He needs to make a 15. So basically 6 up succeeds. There also needs to be 2 successes on this one. Minimum.
Oh.
Because you only have
Okay,
2
cool.
seals. If you had more, the stipulations would change. But this is a primary protector of the city. It is also an epic entity.
A big boy.
Yeah.
Not a legendary,
Now this
an
is
epic.
Now this is epic.
This is epic.
That is the actual terminology by the authors.
Yeah.
So the stipulations of this entity are much higher. So I'm going to go ahead and roll on the table. Like I said, 6 up.
Nat 20.
That's easy.
We won that one, bro.
He succeeds.
Okay.
You who bears the crest of the small council. Although I recognize your position, you are but one who would bring the authority of the crown. I will not be cowed so easily by one man.
Hi, excuse me. How about two young men?
I actually just had the stupid thought of him removing his helmet and just saying like, "I am no man."
I don't think I'm wearing a helmet. That'd be so
Just
funny.
take off your
So
head.
good, though.
No.
Just pop your head off. Yeah.
I'll pop my head off. I am no man.
Do you
I'll
get
get
close
in there.
enough to
I sure
exert
do.
the authority? Okay.
Me and Chugrulk are doing this fucking Guardians of the Galaxy shit. I'm holding
right.
his hand.
The stipulations do not change. So, what do you say to try to assert your authority as the acting high mage of the city of Drakenheim?
Oh God. I. I really have fucking no idea.
Floating next to Chugrulk and then now floating in the face of this massive construct dragon makes you feel that much smaller. It is horrifying, the scale and breadth of this creature.
Okay.
Couple XL, like.
Well, you say one man. We said two men, rather one man and one bot. And then you said wisdom, but mine's charisma. How do we feel about that one?
Well, let me see here. It
Dragons
specifically
are
states that it's a charisma save.
Yeah, it says as an action you may present seal to rebuke, and you make oh wait, hold on. You make an opposed charisma ability check against each wall, gargoyle, or tower dragon that you can see or hear.
Okay. An opposed charisma check against your massive charisma.
Yeah, Mr. Charisma over here.
Okay.
Was that the same as mine? Because that's actually what mine reads as well.
Oh, does it say charisma? Okay.
Yeah.
We can. Well, he rolled a 16, and he's got a even higher charisma modifier. Well, charisma modifier would be lower. I'm sorry. So he has a +6, so that would have been a 20. That would have been a 22.
That would have worked.
So if you can roll above a 22, I'll allow it.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for you, Tim, but
My apologies. Yeah. If it specifically says that, we will retroactively, but that makes that a...
Oh my God.
Should have just kept the first roll, brother.
Well, I got that out of the way for us, right?
I didn't even see the dice roll. I just heard
Oh my God.
As you attempt to assert your authority, Chugrulk, you reach out with the presence of the Chancellor's crest, and almost like a rebuttal of an aftershock from a thunder wave strikes down as it just almost kicks you back in the presence of this dragon. Give me a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Hey!
You are not feared by the presence of the dragon, but
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's
I
great.
do want to point out, by the way,
Yes.
just so that everybody is aware, Benji's first roll was a nat 1.
Everybody's
Oh, no,
just
we
getting
know.
them out early.
Budley's first roll was an out one. My second roll was an out one.
Oh my
We're getting him out there. We're getting him out.
We have rolled
So horribly.
we've rolled like 6 dice total. Half of them have been nat ones, and one of them's a nat
was a
20.
nat 20. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, true. I've balanced it the other way now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
That's so dumb.
We're getting them out. Anyway, you don't even hear Minazaran speak. Just the presence and the roar speaks volumes and almost kicks you back with the oppressive presence of this creature. You manage to hold your ground, Chugrulk, because you raise your shield and sword in front of you, and the presence of Ignatius sort of rebuttals this fearful presence exuded by the construct dragon. But he is not amused in the slightest. But anyway, about that contested charisma check, Tim, as I stated, he has a +6 to his charisma.
No problem.
Mine is a charisma save.
No, it's just a charisma roll. So,
It's just a roll,
so you roll a d20 and add your charisma modifier.
which you take off your charisma modifier.
Yes.
Correct. That is very correct.
So I'll go ahead and roll in advance, and then you'll know what you have to beat. So let's see what we get here. I'm rolling this on the table.
Nat 20 incoming.
Oh, okay. That's still an 8. You had to beat an 8.
Okay.
It's better than a coin toss.
Yeah. Okay, that was a nat 20. God damn, these dice have just been like fucking wild.
I'll
This
fucking
is
take
actually
it.
ridiculous. It is dice flipping at this point, actually.
Oh
We're flipping
man, I
dice.
wish I didn't have the
we're
minus
flipping coins.
one.
Yeah.
As you
no,
roll
that's-
this nat
that's
20, narratively tell me what you say to this terrifying dragon as you raise the staff forward towards him. I just narratively, I want to see the change in this endeavor.
Okay.
Ridiculous fucking thing.
Okay. All right.
I'm only going to say this one last time. Stand down before the true mage of Drakenheim.
As you raise the inscrutable staff, like several times prior, you feel it begin to thrum and hum with intense arcane power. The charged crystal hovering above the end of the staff begins to exude energy as you feel this gravitational force begin to drag down upon this massive creature. And whereas before you felt like a mere flea on the back of an elephant, now you feel like your presence has grown tenfold. And though your frame remains the same, your presence presses down upon this creature as you feel the wings, the body of this construct guardian shake and waver for a moment. You may pass for now. But know that the eyes of this castle's guardian watches you wherever you may go. And you can see it struggling to hover aside and let you pass.
He's so angry.
It is fervent anger as it moves to one side, as it is struggling with every fiber of its being not to assault you all. and you feel the charge as you get close to this thing. It was rearing up for just some explosive discharge of energy had you not succeeded that roll.
So,
Had you not rolled a nat 20, I would have made Chugrulk re-roll. So, but for now, it is letting you pass. We will consider that 2 successes. I am okay. Okay. Where would you all like to go?
Away from this dragon.
yeah, are there some parapets or something that we can dash to?
Give me a perception check since you asked, Cedric, and then we'll get to your question in a sec, Georgio. My apologies.
No, you could. That should.
Okay.
Not bad.
You can see directly in front of you there is a large structure on top with a number of windows and what looks like former planter boxes. Anything that would have been alive and green in these boxes is all but dead. It is just dried brush and sticks at this point and just completely nutritionless like soil and rock in these planter boxes around this center place. There's another rooftop to the left here, but you don't seem to see any type of entrance here. And the few openings you do see are completely pitch black and far too small for even the smallest of you to try to squeeze through. What you do see, however, to the right-hand side are 3 larger towers, each of which has what looks like a hatch on top with similar like windows that are sealed. And all the windows that you see at this distance, Cedric, have what seems like some sort of magical film over the top of them, almost like a silvery octarine film over the windows. You're not quite sure what it is, but you definitely notice it, as if something is shielding them from the outside. What you do see, though, other entrances are 3 hatches on the top of these 3 towers to the right-hand side of this main center, what looks like almost like a penthouse in the center, this blackened square on the map. The one to the left, you definitely don't see any type of what looks like an entrance of any kind. But the other 3 seem to have what look like roof hatch entrances on the top.
Some sort of entrance. Okay.
That don't seem to have any of that arcane shielding on them.
I'm gonna turn to Georgio and just ask, hey Georgio, from your time being here when you were originally part of the royal family, and I kind of say it very loudly so others can hear around us. Do you know if this would be a good way to get close to the throne?
Would you like me to make a history check, or is that something I would remember?
I will ask for a history check on that one, because this has been some time, and you may not have necessarily been in every part of the castle, because some areas were restricted.
I've got
You also
a
get
4.
+4.
Okay, I've got an 8.
Okay. Or you have to roll a d4, but sorry.
Oh, I get a plus a d4.
Yeah, sorry, it's a d4 roll.
Okay, that one is a 1. I don't know if I've ever rolled anything but a 1 on a d4, to be honest.
So what's your total value on that history check?
A total of a 5.
A 5? It is really hard for you to remember any details of what these... You recall the towers. You don't recall what was in them. You know that some towers were servants' quarters. Some were entrusted to the various dignitaries. Some may have been... You would imagine some quarter of the temporary quarters or permanent quarters for the castle steward. But you don't recall which ones were which, and you don't recall how deep they go, what their pathways lead to. You just know that that's generally what these towers were used for.
Okay. I can relay that. But I do think that as far back as we can get is probably the best. Just
That makes
because
sense.
that's where the dragon is there to defend the most important points, right?
Sure.
Like it's not going to be sitting in the back if the best place to enter is up in the front. It would be up here. So you can see better than I can right now with all this haze. But if you see something where we can get in that's in the back, then I would.
Yeah,
think that
I guess
we should at least start there.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. I guess what would be the furthest that doesn't have the like magic film that
You
we can
only
see
see
when
the
we go
magic
to the right.
film on the windows and doors. You don't see it on the hatches on the
Hatches.
roofs. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'd probably, with that logic, just pick the furthest back, or I guess closest to where the dragon was perched, rather, I suppose. That seems like we could get in without any like magical trouble.
Sure. You can see that Mina Zorand is just hovering, its massive wings beating. You can see it is struggling with every fiber of its being during this period of time post your exertion of authority of the crown, but it is struggling to break free of that authority with every passing moment. It is eyeing you all with an intensity like it could break free at any moment.
Let's get a move on.
Yeah, I would rush toward that hatch.
Okay. So you're going to the furthest tower.
Yeah, like
Oh.
furthest to the back of, or what we would perceive to be the back of the castle, I suppose.
So yes, so essentially this, I'll put a ping on it. So you're heading towards this marker right here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. As you all fly towards the furthest tower, as you fly as quickly as you can away from the I'm sorry, go ahead, Georgio.
Just real quick, as we're going, I think is that disconnected from the rest? I'm looking at it. It looks like there's like the walls going around. But this tower looks like it's disconnected from the rest, and I wouldn't want to have to go outside again.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Give me a perception check. It's not necessarily a difficult check.
Okay, I've rolled on the dice a 17. My perception, I think, is +6. So yeah, so it's a 23 this time. Finally, a number that works.
Yeah. You can see that it's hard to see from this height, but there seems to be far below, either below the rocky edges and outcroppings. All these towers seem to be connected to the main body of the castle in some way, shape, or form. You don't know at what level necessarily, but you can see with that high roll, you could definitely tell that they are connected in some way, shape, or form. You just don't know at what level. At this elevation, it's hard to see.
Okay. If we had to go back outside, I would have checked because the dragon would no longer be on the influence of the thing, and it would just be like, all right, now you're dead, right?
Yeah. Now you're sitting ducks.
We're good. Yeah.
So, but yes, you do hover in that direction. As you do, Chugrulk, give me another perception check, please.
Nice.
Of course.
Given your proximity and certain attributes. Okay.
Now we got rolls going. Jesus.
Now we've got some rolls, not some flips.
As you're flying and all your other companions are dashing towards this roof hatch, something catches your eye on the face of the outer portion of this rounded tower, this perfectly circular tower. You can see as you get closer there are stone accents and masonry features of warriors defending the city, of dragons, of strange demonic entities being fended off, as well as armies, these epic scenes carved into the walls. But one catches your eye as it's gently moving and looks directly at you, Chugrulk. Not in an ominous way. You don't get any type of like malicious intent as it looks towards you, but it's as if it's trying to catch your attention in some way, shape, or form. It is ever so brief, but you catch this facial expression, this desire to get your attention for the briefest of moments before you hear your companions rushing and calling to you to continue towards the roof hatch. As you can sense that the hold of authority on Minas Arand is mere moments from breaking loose. Is there anything else you all would like to do, or are you just trying to get into the hatch and...
I think
Okay.
I'm just getting the fuck in the hatch. To be honest.
Okay. You go to rip the hatch open, I would assume. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It is not locked. You open it up swiftly, just as you hear the loud, bolstered cries and screech of the construct dragon breaking free of the staff's authority and rushing towards you as you hear the beating of wings just as you slam the hatch door shut once more. And let me go ahead and grab the level below. Give me just a moment to make sure there's nothing I need to... okay, cool. Let me just swiftly here pull away some of the fog of war before I move you guys over. Where is it? They changed the emblems. There we go. Reveal. Okay. I will go ahead and move your tokens over here real quick. Just so you all know where you specifically are on this location. And then we will move. No, that's not the one I wanted. All right. Where's... Okay, there's Cedric. There we go. All right. This is where you find yourselves in a rustic set of bunks and quarters within the tower at large. In the center is a spiraling staircase going up towards the hatch that you just entered in, and then down into a darkened segment of deeper into Castle Draken. Around you, you see various bedside tables that have not been touched in years, a thick coat of dust all around this space. Linens haphazardly pulled off and frayed and left threadbare to the years of being unattended and unwashed and unused. A thick layer of dust over everything in this room, as if nothing has been moved in years, decades even. Let me change the ambiance a little bit here. Give me just a moment. But as you step down into this darkened space, there is even though there are lanterns here on the deal, there is no light in this space. For those of you who do not have dark vision, it is pitch black here. What would you like to do?
I cast light.
Okay. You cast light. There are doors all around this space. There are stone walls, but all the doors seem to be just mostly interim separations between the various segments of bedrooms. This seems to be some sort of quarters for servants, perhaps office spaces. There are desks about with various books and scrolls in this area. Everything, like I said, has a thick coat of dust upon it. It doesn't appear like anything in this area has been touched in years. What would you all like to do?
There's no like windows or anything, right?
Not in this particular. These are all what look like bedrooms and office, like private, like residences, like small residences.
So it doesn't seem like a dragon or something to see in.
No, you don't see any. You can't see out and see Mina Zoran. You can hear him above as the wings beat heavily over the structure, but you cannot see him and he cannot see you.
Okay. That's really what I wanted to confirm more than anything.
Okay.
So.
Everything in here is like old. Like I guess now that we have light, just a quick check around just to see if there might be anything noteworthy in here. That's an 20 on perception.
Well, give me an investigation if you're looking for more details. Yes.
It would be it's the same. So it's a 20 plus 6.
Okay, so 26 total.
Yeah.
You comb the area with detailed eyes and senses, looking about. And as you look at the desks specifically, you look around and you eye some of the documentation that's spread across one of these larger desks over here in the corner of one of these rooms. And you see a specific handwriting and some letters that have yet to be sealed or sent. A handful that have been received. You can see the wax seals have been broken. There are stacks and stacks of these types of letters and correspondences, all of them addressing either the royal family as a whole or specifically addressing one man. The former steward of the Castle Draken, Johann Eisner. And you recognize that name. You have another letter from the former steward that you found in the cosmological clock tower when you had first discovered the steward's seal, along with a letter to his daughter.
Did you ever tell us about that?
Yes, I did.
don't remember this name.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yes. Yeah, I'd have to dig back up the letter, but yes, you did find a letter to his daughter by the name of Veo.
Sorry, to be clear, it was Cedric that found the note, and so my question was, did Cedric ever tell the rest of us?
I don't know.
Sorry,
that would be a question for Cedric.
I do remember specifically that it happened. Sorry.
No, I don't think I told anyone about like the seal. I just pocketed it.
But you, Giorgio, would know of Johann Eisner, the former steward. Okay. You have seen and interacted with him numerous times, perhaps even more than the royal family as a whole. He was a more common sight than, as much so as the King Ulrich himself in the palace. He basically ran the day-to-day of this castle.
And these are all opened letters to him, or did you say from him? I'm sorry.
Either to him directly or to the royal family, and he was responding on their behalf as the
Okay, so we're,
steward.
presumably then we are in his these are his quarters.
That is the assumption that you get.
That is
that you are in the steward and the steward's family quarters.
Okay. I'll pick them all up and say, hey, found a bunch of letters to the steward. I think these might be his and his family's quarters. And I'll say his name. Well,
Chugrulk. As your companions are looking about, again, you get the sense that a set of eyes are watching you. As you look about this space and your companions are searching this area, you can't help but feel this presence is watching you, and you turn, and just for the briefest of moments, you see in the stonework this rounded masonry, these mortared stones of this stairwell. You could swear for the briefest of moments you see a set of eyes. As the name Johann Eisner is spoken by your companion Giorgio, there's almost like this sense of recognition as these eyes stand out to you for the briefest of moments, and then you look back again at that stonework, this rounded stone, no much more than the size of a human face. For the briefest of moments, you thought there was a set of eyes looking at you from that stone, and then you look back again, and it's gone.
Can I press up against this wall? I wanna feel against this wall.
You press your gloved hand against the wall, and it's a smooth worked stone, but you sense no ill intent or presence upon it at this very moment. That sense of being watched has vanished again for the time being. Cedric and Tim, what are you doing?
I don't think I'm doing anything right now, actually. I'm just kind of hanging back as they do the exploring in the castle. Or of this room, I suppose.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
All right. 12.
You see that you feel fairly confident in Giorgio's assertion of this location. It kind of follows along the same sort of vein as a servant's quarters. It's modest. It's very utilitarian. It looks like quarters you've seen of monks in cathedrals and small monasteries. A very modest place of living and a brief reprieve from the day-to-day tasks of their duties. You don't really seem like there's anything malicious following you in this area. You do see that there are a variety of chests around from all the beds. You sift through some of these items, and you see that there are one of them in particular, the one directly behind you here, seems to be full of strange toys at first. And as you look at some of them, they at first glance look at like children's toys, but they have weird like cat claw marks and like gouges in some of them. They're definitely like covered in dust. They haven't been touched in some time, but it just kind of seems strange that you would see like what looks like claw marks in children's toys.
Interesting. Are there any, like, could I see if there's like maybe any like food bowls or any other sign of like animal presence or I guess pet presence?
Yes, there you look into some of them and you see that there are at first what you think is the fur of a like a house cat, like a black house cat, but it looks finer and more like most royals take care of pets and have, you know, castle animals, especially cats, to try to curb the spread of mice and disease. But these clumps of fur are even finer and like more kept. And Giorgio, as you're sifting through some of these letters and looking over, you see again that name of you suspect is the child's name, Veo. VEO. And one bit of text that you read is Cedric, or Cedric is looking through. You see is you see a bit of passage that says there's a letter that says, Veo, I've warned you a number of times not to claw your way up the exterior of the castle walls. That is inappropriate. I shouldn't have to tell this to a young lady and a daughter of the steward of the city. And you read it and you're like, claw your way up.
It's interesting.
It just seems odd, the wording of that statement.
Hmm.
Tim, what are you doing?
Well, they're all looking around or whatever. This is a stairwell that goes down.
Yes, it gets quite dim and dark as you head downwards. You don't hear anything at a first glance, but if you want to try to see anything further, you're welcome to give me, or hear or try to perceive anything further, you're welcome to give me a perception check.
I would like to perceive down the stairwell.
Okay. Now, just so you're aware, you're not seeing anything. And do you have dark vision?
No.
Yeah, so if you use vision, this would be at disadvantage. If you're trying to hear anything, you can do so normally, but you know what you perceive will be determinant on how you roll. But just keep that in mind.
I got 20/20 hearing. I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
What are you hearing?
I'm just letting you know you can't see anything. Like you don't have dark vision, then it's pitch black
It's
down
fine.
these stairs.
It's fine. I'm
Okay.
good.
All right.
What are you hearing?
20/20 hearing. The fuck? The fuck out of here with that shit.
All right. So perception check.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You definitely don't see anything. You don't really hear anything either. It seems relatively empty and unassuming as you go down. Just enough that if there were anything moving, you don't detect it.
All right, hold on. Sorry, my audio cut. Did I miss something?
No. You don't detect anything moving or,
Okay.
any signs of potential, ambush or anything like that. You just hear a echo of nothing, essentially.
Okay, sorry. No, my audio just I heard you talking, that just stopped, and then I didn't hear anything. I just heard someone go, I'm like, wait, what?
Fair
So
enough.
I don't know. My Discord froze for a sec. Sorry.
Sure.
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready to head down unless you guys are still exploring up here.
I'm not, no.
What would you all like to do?
I'm good to move. I'm okay with doing it quickly.
Do we want to light any torches or anything?
Well, Tim's already produced light. Oh, I'm sorry. You had the light up. So, yeah, with that 12, you feel confident that there's nothing down below you. I'm sorry. I forgot you had the light spell on.
That's okay. No worries.
Sorry. I have to try to remember these things because it looks like light right now, what you're seeing. But that's only for those of you who have dark vision or light sources. So, apologies.
So, Tim, you just cast light on yourself or something then?
I have it on my staff. I usually will just do it at the top of that.
Okay,
Right.
Got it. Cool.
So is the intent to go further down the staircase? Okay. But you step down with the light of your companion's staff illuminating this space. Again, things seem sparse here. There's a few writing desks. Not quite as many notations here. This seems to be, as you look around at an immediate glance, you see some notes and lists pinned up to the walls or scattered about, books, ledgers. This seems to be some sort of servant's interim office space, perhaps servants or perhaps the castle cook or one of the staff members' just immediate office areas. Sort of a catch-all room for, like a back office, if you will, is the vibe that you get from this space at an immediate glance. Sort of a catch-all for the various staff underneath the steward of the castle. You see ledgers of goods, ledgers for orders of food, for upcoming events and parties. A lot of the dates you see correspond with the final days leading up to the crash of the meteor in this space. It is very haphazard and doesn't appear like much has been touched here. There's still a thick coat of dust in this space. It doesn't seem like there was anything really of value in this spot, so nothing was really grabbed or taken in a hurry. It just looks like it was abandoned. But what you do see is you kind of step through some of these partition doors, like the upper spaces. You see that there is a passage going deeper into the center of the castle, and you feel a slow but gentle rush of air moving in from that central space, from where there's just a pocket. Tim, and Chugrulk, go ahead and drop your token down there as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Tim, that air as it moves through, give me a perception check. You get the scent of something intensely filled with arcana, of energy, of magic, the likes of which you've never sensed before. but it is encompassed with the... Sorry, my Amazon thing went off for some reason. Sorry. That even scared me a little bit. Sorry.
Is it time to refill your Tide Pods?
Oh, just like delirium. Don't eat those.
Implant them into your chest.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Anyway.
Tido Expergo.
Tido Expergo. God damn
Hell
it.
yeah.
All right. You get the sense of something laced with that same sort of charged energy, a scent of arcana, the likes of which you've never experienced before, but enshrouded by a very familiar scent at this point of intense delirium energy of the haze coming from deeper within this passage leading into the Castle Draken. What would you all like to do?
Do we march
Yeah,
forward into the darkness?
Let's
I'm
go.
down
I
to
mean,
follow up
we have the
Giorgio.
light, so
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'll back
Chugrulk's
up
the
on
only one with
Giorgio.
dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got that reach, so I'm thinking somebody stands in front of me. We got that big ass.
Let me reveal what you would see down here, Chugrulk, with your dark vision as you step into this. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would say, just because you have dark vision and can see just a little bit better, I would think it would.
Yeah,
be
I can
better
go
if you
forward, yeah,
stayed- If you stayed in front.
I just thought I wasn't sure if somebody else had a torch, but I'm definitely happy to go first.
Tim has his light spell activated, but
That's right. Yeah.
I think the range of that is 30 feet, correct?
Yeah, no, just
20.
20. Okay.
Yeah, which is just not a lot. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Chugrulk's dark
Vision
vision
should
is
have
60.
60 feet. I think.
Yeah, he can see way
that's
further.
so it's just like
Yeah, go first, baby. You go.
Yeah. I'm down.
Also, if you can see the light, other entities can see the light.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm happy to take the reins. Yeah.
All right. Currently, this is what you see. As you step down, you can see that there is a number of stairs kind of heading down into a lower level where the intensity of the delirium scent grows stronger. There's also another passageway going to a wider hallway at the same level that you're at now, or two of those at the same level that you're at now. One, a similarly narrow hallway going southeastward, and then another one going due west. And you hear movement in both those directions, both the narrow hallway as well as the wider moving hallway, but not as much as you go deeper down into the lower, almost down at the ground level of the castle. But as you go down to that ground level, the intensity of that energy, Tim, you can sense deeper in depth of the castle grows ever stronger. Down in that central area, too, you see that there's sort of like a water feature in this space. There are stone statues with fountains, or what would have been fountains, were they not now immobile and unassuming. This liquid that now lies pooled up in this water feature is stagnant and stale and has a dirty, contaminated both by soot and time, as well as flecks and particles of delirium in the liquid. What would you all like to do?
I feel like going into the heart of the castle is going to be our best bet. I don't know if we were trying to find anything except for
the crown.
the crowns. It's like I mean, maybe checking the other thing to make sure that there's nothing in there that could ambush us. You know, if we've cleared out all the towers, we know that we don't have to worry about something coming from behind us. But I mean,
Yeah, I'm down to like maybe peek my head around the corner and just have like see if it's an open entrance similar to like what we're dealing with here, or like, you know.
Give me a stealth check as you try to peek around this corner, Chugrulk.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, you are so fucking lucky.
Yes.
You're so fucking lucky. Oh man, that was just under the threshold. You barely peek over, and just as you feel like you're about to be spotted by something down this hallway, you duck back and remain as still as the dead. And then you turn when you feel like the presence that you almost spotted you is looking the other way, and you turn. You can see there are 3 entities in a similar circular room, as you now find yourself currently in the base of the central of the 3 towers. You feel confident this is the central of the 3, and this connecting hallway leads into the third, the furthest south of the 3 towers that you saw from high above the castle itself. At the base of this tower seems to be a room. It is almost pitch black, but there is a dim light going up a set of stairs back up this southernmost tower. But at the base of this space are 3 entities. They are what appear to be medium-sized creatures, but you hear a writhing and a slithering coming from all of them, as if pockets of serpents swirl about them. Let me go ahead and reveal what you see here.
I don't like this.
Nope.
Give me either a religion or arcana check, Chugrulk, to see if you can identify what these entities are.
Beards of snakes? That's crazy.
We'll see.
Beardusa.
Okay.
Your choice, religion or arcana. It's hard to say, but what you do see is like a pale purplish skin, very tarnished and torn lower coverings, and as your companion very aptly pointed out, what looks like a beard of snakes hangs and dangles and slithers from the chins of all 3 of these entities.
The Bolchinian.
It's a Bolchinian. Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. Alright, what are we doing here, fellas? Play. I'm gonna relay that message just like as quietly as possible back to the group. What we're dealing with, obviously. Just try and discuss if we avoid this room altogether or if we're jumping into it.
I mean, our point was to go further into the castle, right?
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking as well.
We just can't forget that these guys are behind us. If we end up causing a commotion, if we cause a commotion, they will hear and they will come.
Absolutely. I think it's good that we know they're there, but it's very still optional whether we,
Yeah.
them.
My only concern is we're gonna
aggravate him at some point.
face big baddies in some form or fashion. In here, I don't want to be dumping like spells personally.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so that being said, I think it might be just a way, like, we might try and just avoid him. It might be better use of resources to not, like, dump things into these if we can help it.
Mhm.
Is that the general consensus?
Sounds okay.
Chugrulk and Cedric.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a second. You can get it like a
As you step back, Chugrulk, and you go to speak with your companions in as silent as you can, you look down at this pool of water in the basin of this former water feature. And you see, even though it is painfully still at first, you look down and you swear you see movement. Not below the water, but the water itself. As it swirls and turns, it shows no sign of hiding itself. It's as if it's trying to catch your attention. So much so that at this point, Cedric, you see it as well. By close proximity to Chugrulk. It's as if something in this castle is trying to get your attention, Chugrulk.
Okay.
And as you watch this swirling, it lasts longer than any of these other presences you've sensed thus far. And it flows and it moves calmly, and you watch as this pattern forms, as it forms a gentle curling shape. And at first you don't quite grasp, but as you watch it further, it looks like it's flowing in the shape, like just the gentle curvature of this flowing water pattern. Looks like it's trying to form a heart.
Aww.
I'm gonna start like being like
flirting with you.
trying to snap myself out of like what clearly is an allurement and look over to Cedric and I guess like with desperation in my eyes, I'll let him know that like I don't think things are as they seem here.
Yeah, and you said I saw this like.
Yes, as Chugrulk is watching this, you see it as well. It is more blatant now. Like, it's not trying to hide itself. It's as if it's trying to catch your attention, and it's Chugrulk. You feel now this same presence has been trying over and over again to catch your attention. Before the water again runs still, it's been trying to either guide you or catch your attention, and it is doing it in a not any type of malicious, but a very intentional manner.
And so it's just kind of still contaminated water in this thing.
At this point, yes, the water has now gone completely still once more.
But it is contaminated.
Oh yeah, you can see, as Chugrulk points it out, there's little flecks and glints of. It's very much like the river, the Dran River. Like you can see the specks and flickering of delirium in the water. Like in this whole space is suffused with the deep haze.
Oh, right. Okay.
In fact, can I have everyone give me a Constitution saving throw? You do have advantage on this, but the DC is currently 12. You've been in the haze for quite some time now at this point. You do have advantage, so Cedric, you can roll again.
Constitution, you said?
Yes.
Constitution saving throw? Is this right?
You should have a pretty decent Constitution saving throw.
It's +8. It's been a while since we rolled a con save, I guess.
Mine's +8.
Cedric, did you roll with advantage? I think you only rolled once.
Yeah, I clicked to roll with advantage, but I must have only done it with one.
I see the 11. What was your other one?
It didn't come through. Let me try again.
Okay.
Now it showed both.
Yeah. Either one. I mean, we'll take the first one. I mean, either one of those will be higher than the 11.
It's an 11 or 15,
okay.
So.
Okay. How about you, Giorgio?
I got 24.
24. So you all succeed. You don't need to either expend charges or take a level of contamination as you press your way through the smothering effects of the deep haze. The effects that you feel are getting stronger as you get closer to the heart of the Castle Draken. Okay.
I'm gonna make a quick heart with my fingers to acknowledge, like, hey, we saw you.
I like it.
Okay.
In fact, I'm just gonna hold my hand up to Chugrulk, one half of a heart.
That's it. I'm right there with you.
To
I'm
do
right
the
there with you.
Dude's doing the fucking Doctor Strange thing, the one finger.
We'll do all of them. We'll do the combination heart while we hold up the other little like Korean heart fingers. You know, we'll do it all.
Give me either each of you can give me a persuasion check, or one of you can give me a persuasion check with advantage.
I think it was your idea. You get the advantage.
All right.
Classic. I love that. I just Brad posted in Discord. It's so good.
Oh my god, I gotta see this.
Hell yeah. Dude, what a sick photo.
Yes, that's actually.
Oh. Trying to think here. Cedric, I believe it was you who once, at least for a brief period of time, held the Stewart's seal and was attuned to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember the rose-like symbol that was engraved on a portion of that seal. For the briefest of moments, in the still water, you faintly see movement. Like the ever so subtle bubbling and the shaping of the water on the surface that reminds you of that symbol before it goes still once more.
Okay.
But from this perception, you can't really see Chugrulk. There's a door blocking your view on the opposite side over here. But you do sense, with your previous perception check, you do sense movement on the opposite side of this door. Like the lumbering of something large and not really attempting to hide, but not really knowing what is on the opposite side of this barrier. This portion here, and then this thin hallway that's not about the same size as the hallway you're in now, both seem to have movement. The one you've already determined, there are some strange-looking creatures with snake-like beards in that lower portion of the third tower. This centralized portion at the same level over here seems to have some sort of movement on the opposite side of this double door. And then there's also the pathway that leads down these stairs. I know it doesn't look like it, but these stairs do circle downwards into this area surrounding the water feature.
Can we see down into that?
Yeah,
Is
from the
is there like other doors down there?
Give me just a moment. Let me determine, because this water feature's on a lower elevation than where you
I
are
didn't realize
now.
at first, but now that you're just saying that, it
Yeah.
does look like it.
No, there's not. You can see that at your angle from where you're at, Chugrulk and Cedric, you can see there's a darkened space down below that leads into like an archway and probably about a 8-foot wide stone corridor. There is no light except for the faintest dim octarine glow heading in that direction. And you can sense, Tim, that the intensity of the haze and the presence of delirium gets more intense in that direction as you go deeper into the heart of the castle. Giorgio, give me a history or survival check, your choice, to see if you can remember the layout of this portion of the castle.
Okay. History and survival are the same, I think, for
You can use either one, but each one will have a varying response.
I think in character, the history would be a better one to be rolling on, so I will do that. And I've rolled a 10.
Okay. You vaguely remember that these portions of the castle are connected by various pathways for servants. Obviously, they would need to get into these larger segments of the castle to service guests, ambassadors, emissaries, and of course the royal family as well. You know that the central portions are generally the larger portions. You vaguely remember the upper elevations of the castle are generally the quarters. You don't remember the exact configuration, but you know that the lower, larger portions are more of the antechambers, the ballroom, the throne room. So heading into those areas, you have a general understanding that you're probably heading towards those latter chambers by heading down and towards the center.
Okay.
But you don't remember exactly what orientation they're in.
Okay. And I'll relay that lower is better. So if we can see a corridor that snakes around, by going down, we can avoid possible something moving on the other side of that thing, and also get us closer to where we want to be. So
Okay.
I'll make that recommendation.
You also remember there are portions of Castle Draken that go below those levels as well. That there are ancient crypts of the Von Drakens, the original founding royal family, and of course the Von Kessels. And there are storage chambers, treasure chambers, and a variety of record catacombs and things of that nature below the foundations of the castle.
I will keep that in mind, but I think if we end up going too low, that is not a bad thing. Because we'll find other interesting stuff. So I definitely still think going down is the move.
What would you all like to do?
I'm dead to go down.
Yeah.
Down with the sickness.
Get down with the sickness. Wah! I can't do the noise.
Wow.
Wah! I am not that good. All right. Are you going down the stairwells?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get down here real quick. As you step slowly down the stairs, if I could, given the proximity to known entities, can I get a group stealth check?
Did we ever get
Why is it
some
still
help
rolling
on
stuff
that?
with advantage? Or no, that is with disadvantage. I did not cast anything. No, I did not even think of that, honestly.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Whoopsies.
My low one is stealth +2. All right, 13.
Okay.
Oh, shiny.
Not
That's a
bad.
nat 20, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, but I can't use it.
These rolls are ridiculous, though. I'm sorry.
God damn, you guys are so fucking lucky. God.
Uh,
I'm not joking. The threshold was an 11, and you were just above it as a group. Damn
Fuck
it.
yeah, dude.
Fucking son of a bitch. Oh. I hate it when it's like right on the cusp, and I'm like, Can't,
Yeah, we hate it
can't
too
have
when we-
fun.
on the inverse,
I
didn't we?
can't have fun.
I'm having a lot of fun.
I know.
Yeah, that
No,
game
I'm
has
totally
fun,
cool with the
but-
fact that you guys
He's
managed
not
to
having
get
his
out of
fun.
that dragon encounter. Because that could have
Sorry,
ended.
DM.
Hey, you still got to leave here. Keep it in mind.
We're leaving here as kings, though, or one of us at least.
You got in, but you have to leave.
He's not gonna. He's like, oh yeah, you have the crown. Good, nice job, bitch boy. Like that's what he's gonna say to me.
You still got to get it out of here.
Yeah,
Unnecessarily surly dragon, calling everyone bitch boys.
yeah, like I don't know, man.
All right. So give me a second here. As you step down into this space. Let me double check one more thing real quick. Okay. Okay, that is all shielded. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Pretty sure I had the Fog of War already prepared for this, but I'm just double checking. You should only be able to see the outside of the castle as well as the chamber that you
Correct.
currently are in. So when I open this up to you, you're not going to be...
Oh, I see. I see. On the new one.
Yeah, so you are in that rounded chamber that is visible to you here. So the passageway, the arch passageway I described is here on the left-hand side. Can you see that marker? Should be
I
towards the
see
middle center.
flashing- Yeah, I see the flashing yellow. Yeah.
Okay, so you can drop your token somewhere around that water feature. That's the same water feature that I was describing from above. You're just right beside it now. All right. Chugrulk, you want to drop your token down here? And I do realize you have
Yeah,
to
sorry,
leave
my-
here pretty soon, so we'll
Yeah, that's okay.
I do want to do a little bit more, and then we'll try to wrap things up. With your dark vision, Chugrulk, you would see into this adjacent chamber. So let me go ahead and reveal that from above here. Georgio, as you look in and you see just the faintest glimmer of the haze and various delirium crystals cropping up from the cracks in the stone, you recognize this as the reception chamber just prior to the entrance of the main throne room. You've been through here many times as a child. There are stairs leading up to the audience chambers and the spectators level around the throne room, which you know very with almost absolute certainty that is north of this space. Chugrulk, with your dark vision, give me a perception check, please.
Perception. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's perception. You feel relatively certain you don't see anything opposite this space, but it's hard to say. That's the extent of your dark vision. You can definitely tell there's a chamber on the opposite side of this reception / antechamber, but you can't really sense any movement.
Okay.
You don't sense any movement, anyway. What would you all like to do? There was a hallway going northwards. There's one going south, and then there is another one going west. And then there are stairs going up to Georgio. What you remember are the seating / observation, I guess, observation deck, viewing level for dignitaries and audiences. They were rare occurrences in Castle Draken, but you do remember on very special occasions, the royal family greeting large numbers of dignitaries, members of the clergy, members of the Amethyst Academy, and that this was the stairs leading up to those upper observation levels, almost like the upper decks of a stadium, if you will, if that kind of gives you an understanding. And Tim, give me an Arcana check, if you don't mind.
There it is. There's the shitty roll.
It just feels... The only thing you really feel is the oppressiveness of the Arcana, the mana pooling in this space. You don't know if it's from some type of entity or if it's just the sheer amount of haze and delirium in this space, but it is oppressive. Like it feels like you're being pushed down by the weight of its presence. What would you all like to do?
Well, I guess I'll take the lead and progress. For lack of a better word.
Are you trying to be covert, or are you just going through?
I think we're gonna try our best to be covert, but I mean, I know how difficult that is for our group.
Let me.
Does anybody have any I look around to the group and just kind of like see if anybody has any indication of a good stopping point? Do we want to go all the way through to the other doorway? Like, do we want to what's the play here?
I will say after this decision here, we'll probably call it for the evening. So whatever the party chooses, whatever path you choose to go down now, either north, south, or west, or up to the upper levels.
Yeah.
So I was thinking over here, but I don't want to like just hastily run through and like be fucked. Like, so I'm just gonna look to the rest of the group, I guess.
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay.
For now, so we have that.
Yep. I think, and then if I'm not mistaken, with that in mind, like I think while we sneak past, like my intent, like just to throw this out there, what I was gonna say to everyone else was, I think we try and go through here, like with the intent to go all the way through, and then we just look left and right as we go past and see if
just
there's
kind
anything.
of see.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys would start by giving me another group stealth check.
We get plus 10.
Yeah, and you get a plus 10 to whatever you roll.
We're still rolling at disadvantage if we have disadvantage.
Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yes.
You said stealth.
Well, sorry,
Yep.
fellas.
What did you get? 12 total? Okay.
With
Oh,
the
I got
plus 10?
11. I got my 11. Like as my actual roll. Was
Okay,
with
so you'd be at 21.
24.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, our averages are super high.
Yeah.
Okay.
The extra 10 helps a lot with the nat one. I'll say that.
It's a 13 if you add.
13's
But,
good.
But it's a 1 on the dice
Right.
shows a 1.
Um,
And that is important.
let's see. That is 24. 24. What is that on a average? Ooh. Okay.
Just made it.
So I'm rolling against your average was a 20, surprisingly, because you all rolled fairly well, and the pass without trace helps. So I'm gonna roll this on top of the table here, just so you guys know I'm not bullshitting you. Let me double check here. Okay, there is a +3 to this particular roll. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to say there's a +3 to it, and it has to beat your average of 20.
20.
So, here we go. Okay. So no, it does not. You feel relatively certain you have passed through this antechamber unseen. And as you head into the center, you said you were going to look past as you were heading west, Chugrulk?
Yeah, I was gonna look west and east as we went past. Oh, sorry. I was heading. Sorry, I was heading west, and I was gonna look north and south. That's
Okay. You look south first. Out into what looks like a combination of reception. There's large tables. There are what look like banquet tables. And all through this space, there are incorporeal, like hundreds of incorporeal figures passing through, spinning, swirling. It looks like a beautiful ball of nobility, reenacting some grand event or gala. But what is strange is of these people dancing and having a festive time, the servants are a combination of ghastly creatures. Some massive hulking entities, not unlike those that you encountered serving Oscar Yoren. Others, these ghastly, gaunt-looking robed servants, not unlike those you encountered below the crypts of St. Vitruvio's cathedral. But all about, they don't seem to notice you. They don't seem to care. It seems like everyone is sort of caught in this spectacle of past grand ballroom dance. To the south in the main gala ballroom that you remember, Giorgio. In this space. I don't really have, anything to represent but there are hundreds of these incorporeal figures of nobility reenacting some grand event to the south. And it initially, Chugrulk, as you look south, you're like, what in the fuck? It is extremely strange, but it is only as strange as what you see when you look northward. As you feel and hear what sounds like a like the beat of a heart. And you see all spread about this 2-story space. A space, as you look upon it, and Giorgio, you look upon it, you instantaneously recognize it as the throne room of the Castle Draken to your north. But nothing like you remember it in this regard, as there seems to be some flesh-like, stringing, muscular appendages strapped around the pillars, the walls, the ceilings, all culminating into this large amalgamation of flesh and bone and delirium, behind which, not unlike the strange swirling wormholes that you encountered within the Amethyst Tower, like a tear through the very fabric of reality, this flesh-like stringing entity spills out in all directions, and you hear it yet again. Like the beat of a heart. Giorgio, give me a perception check while I reveal this space.
A total of 8.
Of 8. Okay. You don't see anything initially, but this is what you do see.
I think... Jesus
Oh,
Christ. Okay.
And as you all step out into the antechamber, you all see this entity at once. Or whatever this thing is, surrounded inside the throne room, swirling, otherworldly, horrifying appendages from some nightmarish, cosmic horror, bad dream lay bare in this space. Clusters of delirium crystals the size of wyverns loom around this space in this main throne room, the flesh of this entity strapping itself to the pillars and walls of the main throne room of Castle Draken. And with that perception check, Giorgio, ever so faintly, seated on the tattered cushions of the throne just in front of this tear through the fabric of reality, you see the faintest glint of a fine metal.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where we'll leave for tonight.